Hey guys, what's up? It's Jaime here. Okay, so for today's Fangirl Fridays video, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about the animes that I've recently watched and that I've recently really fallen in love with. So about a month ago, I did the free 2-week trial, and this is before they made the announcement that Funimation was moving to Crunchyroll. Of the free the 2-week free trial of Funimation Premium, so that I could watch 3 of the animes that I'm going to talk about specifically. I watched within that 2-week trial period, and one of them I've been watching with my boyfriend because he really loves it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so 2 things. One, there are landscapers working on my neighbor's yard. So if you can hear them, sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. And then another thing, a lot of these animes have been out, came out a couple years ago, and I'm just now watching them. So please don't be like, oh my gosh, you're just discovering it now. Shut up. There are a lot of animes out there, okay? And I only recently got into anime a few years ago. I want to say 4 years ago. So I haven't watched every anime that is out there, alright? So let's relax. Okay, so for the first anime that I'm gonna be talking about, it's Terror in Resonance. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Terror in Resonance came out in 2014, and there has never been it's a psychological thriller anime, and I have never felt so psychologically thrilled by anything in my life. Oh my gosh, it's so intense. Literally, if you've never seen Terror in Resonance, now it's pretty dark. It's a pretty dark anime. It's not it's kind of okay. I don't want to give the ending away, but the ending's pretty sad. There are some kind of almost bittersweet moments of the ending, but the ending's pretty tragic. But you kind of know that going into the anime that it's oh yeah, this is not gonna end well. So basically a very basic kind of premise of what Terror in Resonance is about, in case you don't know what it is. It's basically about these two, I believe they're high schoolers, these two high school aged kids, who are terrorists, who are bombing various places around Japan. They're basically, they're not just they're not trying to actually hurt anybody. They're just trying to send a message to the Japanese government for something terrible that happened to them that I think was a government cover-up or whatever, something like that. I kind of forget the specifics because it's been a little bit since I watched it. Can you see how bad my memory is? I only watched this anime a month ago, and I've already forgotten some of the things that happened. But yeah, and so it's just kind of this, they're going through them. It's it's kind of a cat and mouse game with the terrorists and the police. And then also there's this innocent bystander girl who kind of gets mixed up in all of it, and it's just, oh my god, it's so literally I know obviously it's to be expected because it's literally a psychological thriller anime, but it is so intense. So I don't recommend doing this, but I watched the last 3 episodes while I was at work because I had some downtime. Don't recommend doing that because my anxiety was through the roof. I'm sitting at my desk and I'm just shaking all over because it's just this whole thing, because obviously it's the terrorists, they don't actually want to kill anybody. They don't actually want to hurt anybody with their bombs. They're just trying to get the attention of the government. But because a lot of, unforeseen factors start to come into play, there starts to be a lot of scenarios where it's oh no, is this bomb actually gonna kill somebody? Or are these bombs actually gonna kill people? And it's very, very intense. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's been on my to watch list for forever, and I'm so glad I finally got to watch it because it is literally so good. But if you have I have really bad anxiety, and I was able to still be okay after watching it. But if you know yourself and you know that you're really you have really bad anxiety, maybe don't watch it. But if you're interested, I definitely recommend checking it out. I think it's a really, really excellent anime. I also think the animation style is really, really beautiful. Like, it's just everything about it, the characters, it's all really, really great. I got a blanket because I was cold. Okay, what's the next anime we're gonna be talking about? Which I guess it's kind of fitting because, like, okay, well, the next anime we're gonna be talking about is Yuri on Ice, which originally came out in 2016. I did not watch it when it originally ran, but I watched it recently, and I quite enjoyed it a lot. Yuri on Ice is the third sports anime I've ever watched. But the second one that I've completed, because I've watched Haikyuu. I'm all caught up on Haikyuu. I've watched the one and only season of Yuri on Ice. Although I think the movie's coming out somewhat soon. I don't know like how soon is soon, but I know that there's a movie coming out. I don't actually know the details of the movie. I should have looked that up beforehand. But anyway, I've started watching Kuriko's Basketball. I'm just having a really hard time getting through that one, so I'll report back to you if I ever actually finish that one. But yeah, so Yuri on Ice, I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I've never actually, so like, I've been ice skating once in my life, and I held onto the wall the whole time because I didn't want to fall. And I've never watched like real life people like ice skate before, like professionals. So it was really, but the choreography of like all like the routines, all like the performances in Yuri on Ice were all like really spectacular. Like I really loved all of them. I also really loved the costumes. Like they just, everything about like it aesthetically was just very, very pleasing. And very nice. Also, speaking of which, I really love I love the theme song. Generally, obviously, like I listen to like the theme song like the first, maybe like first 2 episodes, and then I skip it like as I watch the other episodes. But like I kept jamming to the theme song for Yuri on Ice. I think it's a really good song. But yeah, so oh my gosh, I think that the main cast of the 2 Yuris and Victor are all really awesome. Like I genuinely really loved all of them. Also going into it, I didn't know that there were 2 Yuris. Like I knew about Yuri Katsuki, the Japanese Yuri, main Yuri. I didn't know about Yuri Plitsetsky, I think that's how you say his name, Russian Yuri. But I loved him. Oh my gosh, I think is he my favorite? I don't know. I really love all 3 of them. I love both Yuris and I love Victor. I also, oh my god, Victor's dog, I can't remember his dog's name, but that dog, so fluffy. I loved it. It was a beautiful dog. I remember this when Yuri on Ice originally came out, is the criticism of that, like, because obviously they allude to, like, Yuri and Victor, like, being in a relationship, but it's very like in like the subtext. Personally, I'm just one queer person, so I can't obviously speak for all queer people, but just for myself, I didn't mind it too much. I felt like the subtext worked personally in the context of this specific anime. Obviously I want to see more like explicit like them actually like being in a relationship, which I don't know if we ever get that season 2. Maybe that's something that can be explored. But yeah, I forgot to talk about the premise. Okay, so in case you didn't know what Yuri on Ice is about, so you've got your 3 main characters. You've got Yuri Katsuki, you've got Yuri Plitsetsky. I struggle so much with Russian names. And then you got Victor, and they're all ice skaters. And so Yuri Katsuki, Japanese Yuri, he's about to go in, well, he's contemplating retirement when he meets the other Yuri and Victor, who inspire him to return to ice skating. Although, again, he was like kind of like not officially in retirement. He was like kind of like just like contemplating, like very much contemplating retirement. And so Victor becomes his coach, which like really helps him like regain his love for the sport. And it's really beautiful. I really, 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 really recommend Yuri on Ice. I really like sports animes. Again, I've only watched 3 so far. But I really, it's just, it's really nice to watch an anime where nobody dies. I'm sorry. Like, it's very nice change of pace, because I watch a lot of animes where people die, and it's, it can be very emotionally taxing sometimes. But yeah, so I think the best part about Yuri on Ice is really just the 3 main characters. I think that they're all very, very strong. I also must say I quite love Russian Yuri. His relationship with his grandfather is very, very sweet and touching, and yeah, and I really love all of it. It's all so good. Okay, so the next anime I want to talk about is actually one that my boyfriend got me into like a couple months ago. It is Kaguyasama, Love is War, which originally started in 2015, and it's currently ongoing. It's actually season 3 recently started, which has been very exciting for me and my boyfriend. But so if you don't know, Kaguya-sama, it's a romantic comedy. It's so fun. It is extremely fun. I really, really enjoyed it, which is really funny because, okay, so I would consider myself very much like a hopeless romantic kind of person. Like, I really love love. I just love love. Like, I love, like, love stories and whatnot. But strangely enough, I don't usually seek out, like, I'm not really a rom-com kind of person. Like, I personally don't really love it when, like, the romance is, like, the main, like, plot line. I usually just like romantic, like, subplots. That's usually kind of more of my jam. I really love Kaguya-sama. I think it's my favorite, honestly, like, romance anime that I've watched, like, to date. Like, it's really fun. All the characters, the whole, like, main cast is so fun. My favorite personally though is Ishigami. He's my baby, and I don't want to, like, give too much away, but so the basic kind of, like, premise of Kaguya-sama is, so you got your 2, like, main characters, Shirogane and Kaguya, and they're both, Shirogane is Shido, my god, I can't pronounce his fucking name, Shirogane? Something like that. And Kaguya, they're the president and vice president, respectively, of the student council. And then you've also got Fujiwara, who's the secretary? Honestly, I kind of forgot. I love Fujiwara, though. She's so fun. she's so great. And then you got Ishigami, who's the treasurer. Oh my gosh. Ishigami, he's my baby. But anyway, more on Ishigami in a minute. So basically the whole premise is you got your 2 leads, Shirogane and Kaguya, and it's just kind of like them going through their student council and lives, and, like, they're basically trying to get each other to admit their feelings for one another. Like, Shirogane and Kaguya, they don't want to admit themselves that they have feelings for the other person, but so they're trying to, like, through various wacky scenarios, are trying to get the other person to confess first. Hence why Love is War is the title. But it's very funny. It's a really fun anime. So going back to Ishigami and why he's my favorite. So honestly, like, I liked Ishigami when they introduced him. Like, I was just like, oh, he's kind of funny, I like him. But again, I don't want to give too much away, but there's one episode in particular where you get, like, the Ishigami backstory. I cried for, like, 20 minutes afterwards. My boyfriend was like, are you okay? I'm like, no! It's like, Ishigami, he's such a good boy, it's like, he does good things even though, like, nobody is there to, like pat him on the back and be like, you did a good thing. Like, even when, like, everybody turned against him, like, he was still, like, he's just a good person, and I really love Ishigami. I also really like his design. I quite like his hair, but that's beside the point. He's a good boy, and I love him, and he's my favorite. But honestly, again, like, the whole main cast is just so many strong characters. Like, I genuinely love all of them, but Ishigami is my favorite. He is my precious boy, and I love him. Okay, and so for the last anime that I'm going to be talking about, it is Tales of the Abyss, which I only recently discovered even had an anime. Okay, so in case you're new here and you don't know, the Tales of series, because this is a whole series, the Tales of series, like of games, is my favorite video game series of all time. It is my absolute favorite video game series ever. And I really love Tales of the Abyss, the game, even though I've never played it. I've only ever watched people play it because it's a pretty old game. Tales of the Abyss originally came out in 2005, so it's pretty old. Um, it came out on the PlayStation 2, I think. But yeah, and so I only recently discovered that there was actually an anime adaptation of Tales of the Abyss that ran from 2008 to 2009, I believe. And okay, so to break it down, I guess to talk about it in the most simplest terms. So Tales of the Abyss follows, so you have your main character Luke, who's just a complete asshole. Like he is an asshole. He is a spoiled, pampered rich boy who is just very out of touch with the world, and he's just a complete asshole in the beginning. But he finds himself getting mixed up with a bunch of kind of just like, so I guess like, again, I'm trying not to give too much away, but he finds himself getting mixed up with his master's younger sister who tries to kill him. The master's younger sister tries to kill the master. She didn't try to kill Luke. I know that kind of was weird how I explained it. And next thing he knows, Luke is trying to stop a fucking war from happening. And there's a lot of things that go on. And again, I don't want to give too much away because it's really good. I think it's really awesome that there is an anime adaptation of Tales of the Abyss because, again, obviously the actual original game is not like very easily accessible because it's so old. But you basically get like the same experience from watching the anime. Like, I can vouch for that. And there are definitely parts where I think that the game did, like, story-wise, like, better than the anime, but there are also parts in the anime that I thought did much better than the game. For example, so the actual like anime has like more kind of like flashback scenes than the game does, and I think that those flashback scenes worked very, very well, specifically ones for like for Guy and for Jade. If you're not familiar with Tales of the Abyss, you don't even know who those people are, but like I promise, it's just the flashbacks really worked well. Oh, there's one particular flashback scene with Ash that just like worked so well. It made me feel lots of feelings. But yeah, so in terms of like as an adaptation, I think it was really awesome. It's also kind of funny because in my screenwriting class this semester, like we're focusing on like studying like adaptations and like writing adaptations. So it's kind of funny. Like I was kind of like thinking about that stuff as I was watching Tales of the Abyss. But yeah, so like if you're like, and I think there are actually several like anime adaptations of like the various like Tales games. Not all of them, but some of them have anime adaptations. I think they're really good to check out if you're like wanting to get into the Tales series, but you can't necessarily play certain of the certain games because like some of them are like really old and like not very accessible. So yeah, so I just think it was a really good adaptation, and I definitely recommend it if you're interested in getting into the Tales series, but also just if you want like a fun anime, like action anime to watch, because it's really, really good. I really liked it a lot. Okay, so those are all the animes that I wanted to talk about in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments what's an anime you've watched recently that you really liked, or an anime you've watched recently that you didn't like. Either way, because you know I'm always trying to like know like what animes to check out and like which ones I should try to avoid. So like either way, let me know down below in the comments. I'd be very interested to know. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.